Section 7. The Atlantis Civilization. The continent of Atlantis was home to the great civilization of Atlantis, which immediately preceded our own time. It was situated in the Atlantic Ocean in the area known today as the Bermuda Triangle. Originally a small island no larger than Great Britain, Atlantis grew following an eruption beneath the sea 75,000 years ago. People first started to inhabit the landmass about 42,000 years ago. These first inhabitants were primitive tribal people who came from neighboring islands. Signs of a new civilization began to appear on this continent approximately 16,000 years ago, a few hundred years before the Mu continent sank. It was at this time that Kuthumi, the ninth dimension spirit who later reincarnated in Greece as the great scientist Archimedes, was born to bring civilization to people who had until then lived mainly by fishing and hunting. Kuthumi was fascinated by the mysterious power found in plant life. He wanted to know why seeds are able to sprout, grow, create leaves, and bloom. He spent 20 years studying these things, trying to find out how a stem could grow out of a bulb, and eventually discovered that when life changes form, it initiates a huge conversion of energy. This was indeed a discovery of the true nature of the power hidden within life. Life itself is a form of energy. Kuthumi thought that if he could extract the energy from this conversion, it could be used as a power source. He spent the next decade searching for a way to extract this energy, and eventually he succeeded. Kuthumi's discovery shined new light on this continent and became the driving force of cultural growth. Power produced by life energy was used much the way electricity is used today. For example, the window ledges of every house were lined with rows of flasks containing flower bulbs. Each of these bulbs was connected to a machine by a special kind of wire made of nickel and chromium. The wire trapped and stored the energy that the bulb produced for its germination and growth. Another machine amplified this energy, generating enough power to support the entire household and run all its appliances. 15,300 years ago, some survivors from Mu made their way to Atlantis. Among them were scientists who knew the secrets of Mu's pyramid power and offered this knowledge to the inhabitants of their new homeland. Around this time, the Grand Tathagata, Maitreya, incarnated in Atlantis as a spiritual leader named Cusanus. Saint Cusanus preached a form of deism that combined pyramid power and sun worship. He taught that everything rational and scientific is in accordance with God's will. The best example of this, Cusanus taught, was sunlight. How wonderful sunlight is, he said. Not only does it benefit people scientifically through pyramid power, but it also teaches us about God's mind. The civilization of Atlantis reached its peak approximately 12,000 years ago under the leadership of Thoth, also known as the Omniscient and Omnipotent Lord. Thoth was a genius who excelled in many fields, including religion, politics, philosophy, science, and art, and therefore established a multifaceted culture. A great leader, he was particularly gifted in scientific insight, and as a result, Atlantis was able to surpass even the technology of the Mu civilization, manufacturing airships and submarines driven by pyramid power. The airships of Atlantis looked like flying whales. They were 30 meters, 100 feet long, and 4 meters, 13 feet in diameter. The upper half of a craft was filled with gas to make it float, while the lower part carried about 20 passengers. On the roof were mounted 3 silver pyramids that looked like dorsal fins, which converted solar energy into power that drove the propeller attached at the rear. This meant that the airships of Atlantis could fly only on sunny days. When it rained, all air service was suspended. The submarines of Atlantis were made of a special alloy shaped to resemble killer whales. These submarines were 20 meters, 65 feet long, and 4 meters, 13 feet wide. The orca was the symbol of Atlantis, and although some claim that the nation was named after a king named Atlas, the word Atlantis means shining golden orca. Atlantis' submarines were also fitted with 3 pyramids on the roof that, from a distance, resembled the dorsal fins of an orca. From time to time, they would surface to recharge their batteries with solar energy before diving again. In these various ways and many more, science and its products flourished in Atlantis.